Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, I'll tell you one indicator that you're entering, a notable point within a crypto bull market is when mainstream media starts picking up on cryptocurrency-related stories, as is certainly the case here. From Yahoo Finance, here's the latest headline from them. How Ripple plans to defend SEC charges over XRP token. And so they reveal in this article what they believe the defense strategy is going to be. And I will say, by and large, it seemed like a pretty level-headed article. And so I want to run through it with you and give you some of the specifics and kind of break down what may be coming down the pike for us here. And it's just you know what kind of sucks the most about it? I don't feel like I should even say the most. There's a lot of things that suck about it. Maybe I should try putting the list together and rank them in order. But it's just the fact that we're going to have to wait so long to figure this out, potentially. If it goes to trial, that's where it's really going to get messy, because regardless of the outcome, whoever loses, whether it's the SEC or Ripple, it's going to be contested even then. So that's why I'm really just hoping that ultimately we just end up seeing a settlement here, which is what ends up happening most of the time when SEC brings charges against any company. So just kind of fingers crossed, right? But I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys talking about this stuff. I'm just as interested in it as you are, and I make YouTube videos as a fun hobby. That's all that it is, though. All right, shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, who sent this Yahoo Finance piece my way. Thank you very much for sending that, my friend. I very much do appreciate it. So let's dive on in. Less than 1 month ago, XRP was the number 3 cryptocurrency by market cap, behind only Bitcoin and Ether. This week, XRP sank to number 5 on some crypto exchanges. Its price is down 52% since December 22nd, when the SEC charged banking software company Ripple Labs with conducting a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering in 2013 when it began selling XRP. The charges also name 2 Ripple executives, co-founder and former CEO Christian Larson, and current CEO Brad Garlinghouse, who allegedly sold $600 million worth of personal XRP holdings. And I know that really burns your biscuits, many people in the XRP community. And I don't know if my opinion is less popular. I'm not sure what the more popular opinion is. And I like, whatever you think on that, I respect your opinion. But I'll just share with you, I don't care. Like, I just don't care if they've sold XRP. Somebody else making money, as long as it doesn't prevent me from making money, why do I care if they're rich? And there are no charges of fraud. The fact that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and also Chris Larson sold XRP, assuming that's all exactly true, which it probably is, like, first of all, it has nothing to do with the claims of XRP being a security. It has nothing to do with the lawsuit. They put it in there because they knew the optics would be bad, and it was used to elicit emotion, which it certainly got from XRP holders. That's unquestionably true from a lot of them anyway. For me, it didn't do that. I was already aware of this before the news came out from the SEC. I reported it on the Moon Lambo channel, and I made my opinion known. I was just like, well, whatever. As long as they're operating in good faith and they're being great cheerleaders for the XRP ecosystem, I don't care. And also, you can be long something, an asset, and sell some of it along the way. You know, as XRP continues to increase in price, as long as it's continuing to get used, I'll remain long forever, but I'm going to sell some along the way. So what? Who cares? And they didn't sell enough that in terms of volume, it wouldn't even been measurable on the charts, and it wasn't. And if you want proof of that, think about when Brad Garlinghouse, for example, was selling XRP leading up towards the tail end of 2017. We had a bull run where XRP went from almost 20 or 20 something cents to almost $4. This is while the XRP was being sold by Brad Garlinghouse and by Ripple. It didn't matter. It's just a supply and demand thing. So if as long as they're doing what they need to do, to promote a healthy XRP ecosystem as a company, and as I don't care if they're profiting it, and I don't care if they're greedy or not. Like, if you want to call them greedy, fine. I don't care. I functionally don't care. But anyway, let me continue here. The central issue is in the case, is XRP a security? The SEC believes it is and says Ripple promoted XRP to finance its business. Ripple sells software products to banks and money transfer companies, some of which use XRP to speed remittances and provide liquidity. In the wake of the SEC charges, Ripple partners like MoneyGram and Tetragon have distanced themselves from the company. U.S. crypto exchanges including Coinbase, Kraken, eToro, and OKCoin are suspending trading support for XRP this month. Coinbase now faces a lawsuit from a customer in St. Louis over trading fees Coinbase collected on XRP transactions. The charge, and that's funny too, by the way, because you got to wonder, like, with Coinbase, are they going to have to argue that XRP is not a security in court? Because that would just be interesting. I don't know. I don't know what the legal approach is going to be. But anyway, the charges against Ripple were announced on outgoing SEC Chairman Jay Clayton's penultimate day in office. So Ripple finds itself in a limbo period, which is what I was saying at the outset. That's one of the things. If it's not the worst thing, it's one of the worst things about all of this. We have to sit here and wait. And while the rest of the market's going nuts too, which is why also, like I've told you, like I am diversifying actively now into other cryptocurrencies. I'm not selling my XRP, but I'm certainly diversifying because I just want to make sure that I'm exposed to this particular impending altcoin bull run, which I suspect is coming anyway. The SEC interim chair is Elad Roizman. President-elect Joe Biden's pick for the new SEC chair is former CFTC Chair Gary Gensler, who looks friendly to crypto. During the transition, the SEC Cyber Unit is continuing the case against Ripple, and the next event is a pretrial conference in New York scheduled for February 22nd. And given the glacial pace at which the courts move, plus the ongoing pandemic, an actual trial won't likely happen until spring or later, if it gets that far. And that's why I'm hoping it doesn't. I think that we can all agree that it would be preferable to just have a settlement. And that's why I've said too, you know, the moment I see that there is a settlement, even before I read the damn thing, it'll just be like a weight will be lifted, because I know that Ripple will not agree to a settlement that would include XRP as a security. Like, it's just not going to happen. Or if they're not able to sell XRP, I know they won't do that either. And so, you know, there may be new restrictions on how they sell it, but I just can't imagine. I can't imagine it's likely that they'd be put in a position where they can't. Now, it is possible though. I've been following enough lawyers that say actually the court could rule that XRP cannot be sold by Ripple, which I think would be very bad. I've already articulated why. I won't get into that in this video. But anyway, in all of its enforcement actions against startups that created tokens, the SEC has relied on the Howey test, which comes from a 1946 case, SEC versus Howey, involving the selling of shares in a citrus grove. The test determined, as former SEC official Bill Hinman explained at a Yahoo Finance Crypto Summit in 2018, that an offering represents a security if it requires an investment of money in a common enterprise with an expectation of profit derived from the efforts of others. In the SEC's view, most initial coin offerings during the infamous ICO boom were securities offerings because the coins were marketed with the expectation that the price would rise, and also, as Hinman said, sold to a wide audience rather than to persons who are likely to use them on the network. Now, when it comes to XRP, Ripple begs to differ. In its response to the SEC, Ripple wrote, "The SEC's theory that XRP is an investment contract is wrong on the facts and amounts to an unprecedented and ill-conceived expansion of the Howey test and the SEC's enforcement authority against digital assets." Amen. Multiple SEC officials over the past few years have made it clear that the SEC does not view Bitcoin or Ether as securities. Ripple CEO Garlinghouse made the case multiple times in the past for why XRP is not a security, seeking to prevent this very action from the SEC. And it didn't work. In a memo to Ripple employees, he called the SEC's actions an attack on crypto in the United States. And then in parentheses, they're right here, Japan's securities regulator does not view XRP as a security, and Garlinghouse recently threatened to move the company to Japan or Singapore. Yeah, and also, don't forget, there are a number of other countries, but including the UK, they've stated, and they're not mincing words, they clearly stated XRP not a security. And so the United States is the only country on the entire planet that is out of step here. And it's just one department. Even there are other departments within the United States that say, that clarify what it is, like as a virtual currency, which is cited in here, by the way. And so it's really just a few people in the SEC that disagree, but they're the ones in power, and they're the ones that created this train wreck. Anyway, XRP is a currency, Ripple says in its SEC letter, similar to Bitcoin and Ether, which the SEC has determined are not securities. Ripple calling XRP a currency is interesting, considering that Garlinghouse said at a 2018 Yahoo Finance Crypto Summit, "I don't call this cryptocurrency. It's not a currency. These are digital assets. If the asset solves a real problem for a real customer, then there will be value in the asset." And so he did say that, and I have talked about that before. But what he meant by that was, the term cryptocurrency, like, to me, it's just a bit of a misnomer, because yes, the word currency is in the term cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrencies aren't necessarily currencies. Now, the government labeling XRP, which has happened, maybe it was the DOJ, I can't remember, that whoever labeled it a virtual currency, that's a legal definition, and that's fine. If they want to if that's a legal definition and it gives it clarity, that's fine. No beef there. What Brad Garlinghouse meant, though, is even if it fits that legal definition of virtual currency, it's not functionally being used in place of money. That's what he actually meant. And so it's easy to take that out of context. It just gets convoluted when everybody's using the term currency in a slightly different way. Anyway, so check this out. So into Ripple's argument, take a look here. In a trial scenario, one of Ripple's key arguments will rely on 8 years of price data that shows XRP does not move based on news about Ripple, according to sources familiar with the company's legal strategy. One specific example, on June 19th, 2019, when MoneyGram announced it had made Ripple its exclusive partner for cross-border payment settlements, MoneyGram stock popped 170% in a day. Ripple will present data that shows XRP stayed flat. And CoinMarketCap data, on the other hand, shows XRP rose 15% over the 2 days that followed. But even then, even if it rose over those 2 days, I'll just take that at face value. Like, what happened with the rest of the market? And clearly there's such a disparity between 15% and 170%. It's not even close. Anyway, the SEC's action against Ripple looks a lot like the actions it brought against dozens of companies that conducted ICOs, including AirFox, Paragon, Telegram, and Kik. Ripple will seek to distance itself from the ICO boom, many of which were conducted by companies that had no product or business model beyond selling a token, by emphasizing that Ripple Labs as a company was around for years before the creation of XRP, and that XRP has a healthy trading market on hundreds of crypto exchanges without any connection to the company. Let me go down a little lower. As for the company's own sales of XRP, Ripple will argue that those sales have represented a mere fraction of all XRP trading, and that's because its own XRP sales were done through exchanges and market makers on a blind basis. Purchasers of XRP didn't know they were buying it from Ripple, and thus it couldn't be an investment contract. Which is a fun little... And by the way, they did their best to make sure this was set up legally how the government was telling them to do it. Instead of Ripple Labs actually selling the XRP, they have a registered money services business called XRP2 LLC, and I suspect most people don't even know that. But they were selling it through there, and they were very transparent about it. And it was based on guidance they received from the government. So it was well known that they were doing this. They weren't trying to do anything wrong. Clearly, which is also why, there aren't any sort of fraud allegations against Ripple on top of all of this here. But anyway, but what if the SEC reasons that XRP was so closely associated with Ripple publicly that anyone buying XRP thought of it as a bet on the success of the company? Ripple Labs registered the trademark for XRP in 2013 and even referred to the token as Ripples for years, something the SEC cites specifically in its complaint, though it eventually stopped calling it that and began petitioning media not to call it that. Yeah, it actually, it's even more hairy than that. And David Schwartz, Ripple CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, has discussed this. Back in the day, they called everything Ripple, like everything was a Ripple. Seriously, not just like the protocol, the cryptocurrency, the company, and there were all sorts of other things that were called Ripple. And so David Schwartz made the point that if you're reading any sort of old email or communication or anything on a message board online where it's people are talking about Ripple, especially people within the company, if you read it, you won't know what they're talking about necessarily. You'd have to make sure that you were really thoroughly reading through it and make sure you have proper context. But even then, Ripple could have meant anything back then. And so that in hindsight obviously was a bad idea, and I'm sure they would have been not used the same term for everything. But back then, who the hell knew what the future was going to bring? So like I try not to be too harsh on them about that. Yeah, it would have been nicer if they called it something else. But regardless of what you call it, that's one thing, but that doesn't change what it legally is. You know, you can call anything whatever you want to call it, but in terms of how it's functionally being used in the market, that's what is of paramount importance anyway. So I don't blame the SEC for going down the route and trying to make this argument, but it's a little bit disingenuous, because Ripple meant all sorts of different things, and it's just a name, and the name it's not an indication of what it actually functionally is, how it's being used, and whether or not it's an investment contract. Anyway, Ripple's legal team believes the history of what Ripple called the token is a red herring, according to sources. The company also believes it's unfair that the SEC filed its enforcement action at the very end of an outgoing administration. Ultimately, this section of the SEC's complaint against Ripple might prove pivotal. The Supreme Court made clear in its Howey decision of 1946 that the definition of whether an instrument is an investment contract and therefore a security is a flexible rather than a static principle, one that is capable of adaptation to meet the countless and variable schemes devised by those who seek the use of the money of the others on the promise of profits. The SEC's complaint mentions that twice, that it can apply the Howey definition of a security flexible. The SEC believes XRP fails its flexible test. Ripple Labs will need to prove otherwise for the health of its business and for the XRP market, even if Ripple says that market bears no connection to its business. And so it's just a question of, is the SEC going too far in claiming that there should be some amount of flexibility? You know, I'm just telling you, I think this is too far, because there's no way in 1946 that you know, they could have possibly conceived of a decentralized cryptocurrency on the internet. They'd be like, the internet what who? The internet? The what who? No. They didn't know about any, they didn't know any of this was going to be coming. And you know, before this, there was no such thing as an asset that could be centralized and become decentralized and vice versa. And to shoehorn it into this and then say, no, we can shoehorn this into old legislation because it's supposed to be flexible. No. You are taking it too far. I subjectively will state that, and I'll admit, fine, subjectively, but it's too far. That is certainly, in my humble opinion, taking it too far. So, I'm gonna keep staying on top of this, but I'm telling you, if I were a lawyer, I would rather argue for Ripple than the SEC. The SEC is, if it goes to court, they're gonna have a hard time with some of the charges that they put forth here. And I want to share one last thing before wrapping up, and I shared this in another video, but I wanted to just bring it up again because not everybody sees every single video. Something to look forward to if this goes the way we think and hope that it will. This comes from XRP community member Frecky, tagged me in this along with another, and wrote, "When Kin was deemed a security, chart below. Markets like certainty, markets do not like uncertainty." And so this is a 12-month screenshot of the market price of Kin. And so this was around October 20th, right where I'm circling here, the bottom point here in terms of price action. And where you see it shooting up, it shot up because there was the market got its certainty. There was a settlement and things move forward. And now Kin, the Kin token continues to be traded today. And it rallied about 1,600% year to date. Anyway, yeah, over the last 12 months, not year to date, for the past 12 months. And it was actually, and it retraced a bit, so it was actually probably over 2,000% at one point. And so the reason I wanted to highlight this is, even though the cases they have some parallels, they have some differences as well. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same. The market reaction, though, that's what I wanted to highlight. It shot up almost instantly. So if there's word of a settlement, man, I can only imagine what that's going to look like. That's why I'm saying, like, that will be a happy day. In the meantime, it is riskier to hold XRP. I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I don't pretend to, but I'll just keep reporting as I learn things, because I think that we should all work together just to share information as we learn it. I don't pretend to know everything. I don't have a legal background or anything like that either. So it's good that we have all sorts of people that come from all different walks of life that can kind of help us make sense of this. And I always appreciate the lawyers in the XRP community that do share their thoughts on this. But I'm optimistic. I don't know what's going to happen, but I decided I'm going to take the risk, continue to hold XRP, and that's my personal big boy choice. So there we go. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.